Okay, so in this video, we're going to talk about the 3-4-5 rule. Now, let's talk about a practical situation here. Let's say you're standing out in the field. You've nailed in some batter boards. You're trying to lay out a corner with some layout strings and some batter boards. Maybe you're doing a fence line. Maybe you're putting in a garden, or you're laying out the foundation of a house and you're only working on one corner for some reason. At any rate, you know that you've got these batter boards roughed into the right spot, and you've got these two strings now spanning the two batter boards. Your job, though, is you need to ensure or adjust these strings. These strings can run across these batter boards like this. You need to get out here and adjust these strings, so that they are perpendicular to each other. In other words, we're making a nice, perfect 90-degree corner right here. How do you do that? You're standing out in the field. You've got a tape measure. You've got some batter boards, and you've got some strings. How do you get this thing to be a 90-degree corner? Well, we're going to use the 3-4-5 rule to come from that, to figure that out, to lay these strings out in a perfect 90-degree corner. So, what is the 3-4-5 rule? 3-4-5 rule is simply put, it's a simple way to remember the Pythagorean theorem. So what is the Pythagorean theorem? Well, you might remember the Pythagorean theorem is an equation that you can use to define a 90-degree corner. So we've got a triangle down here. One side of the triangle is A, the other leg of the triangle is B, and then the diagonal is C, right? And so the A and the B kind of represent our strings in our layout. And if we can get this equation, A squared plus B squared equals C squared, if we can get that to be true, we know we have a 90-degree corner between A and B. All right, so you could use a calculator, and to solve this guy, you got to do a square root, and you got to do all that stuff, and it's doable, but you got to use a calculator, and who wants to do a square root? Instead, if you remember 3, 4, 5, you can do this thing really quick in your head. So what is 3, 4, 5? 3, 4, 5 is actually the numbers that satisfy this equation. So if we were to put leg A as 3, leg B as 4, holy smokes, that means C equals 5. So if you have a triangle where one leg is 3, one leg is 4, and the diagonal is 5, 3, 4, 5, you've got a 90-degree corner. So easy to remember, 3-4-5 rule. So you can use this all sorts of ways in all sorts of applications, but we're going to use it to lay out these strings. Let's go back over here. So let's use it. We're going to adjust these strings so that they form a perfect 90-degree corner. So to do that, we're going to grab a tape measure. We're going to pull one tape off of here, and we're going to pull another tape off of here. Now, we know that we need one leg of our triangle to be 3. So we're going to zoom in, and we're going to look for 3 feet. There it is right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a third tape measure. This is going to be our diagonal tape measure. I'm going to add it right at 3 feet. So let's line up that edge of the tape measure with 3 feet, and we're going to pull that off that way. All right. And we're going to cross this tape measure. Let me move this measurement out of the way. Oh, got too many. Let's delete this one. All right, we're going to just get that measurement out of the way. Now, remember, here's where we got to fiddle-faddle with this thing a little bit. We got to scoot things around to make this work. But here's what we know. We know that this side is 3 feet. For this to be a 90-degree corner, this side of the triangle will need to be 4 feet. And this diagonal of the triangle will need to be 5 feet. So let's look at our tape measures real quick. Let's zoom in. We can see, all right, there is, let me switch to a different tool. There is the 4-foot marker on the tape measure. On the left leg, on the up and down leg. Let me grab my tape measure tool. Oh, what did I do there? Let's grab tape. And here is the 5-foot mark on the diagonal tape measure, right? So what we need is this point and this point to hit each other. We need them to line up perfectly, right? And right now they're not going to. So let me grab the tape measure tool. We can see, oh, they're not even close. We got to do something. So what can we do to do that? Well, we can come in here. We're going to grab our string tool, And we're going to slide this string over. See that? We can grab, this is why you put your string on a batter board. It lets you tweak it. It lets you drive it, or you can wiggle them a little bit at a time. If you were to just put a stake in the ground, it's hard to tweak a stake that you've driven into the ground. So that's why we use these batter boards. So we're going to move this string over about to, let's see, where do we think those two will align? Let's try it right around there. Now let me grab this tape measure and see how close are we going to get. Oh, we're really close. Let me zoom in. You can see that, whoops. You can see that we're really close. This is the 5-foot tick and there's the 4-foot tick. So we're really close. Let's grab our string tool here. Oops, that's the tape tool. Let's grab our string tool here and bring that over. That actually might be perfect. We're going to call that good. See that? So what we've got is, it's a little hard to see because the tape measures collide with each other, but you can see that the 4-foot tape measure is the spot. The 4-foot tick on the vertical tape measure is right here, and the 5-foot tick of the diagonal or the hypotenuse side of the triangle, that they're perfectly aligned. So what that means is, let me just scoot out now. We know now, I'm going to delete some of these tapes real quick. We know, whoops, let me delete this tape and this tape. We know that this side of the triangle is 3 because we set the tape measure at 3 there. We know that this side of the triangle is 4 because we crossed this tape. And we know that this diagonal is 5. So we can be certain that these strings form a perpendicular 90-degree corner. So that's how you use the 3-4-5 rule.